Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that truck inside line. Yes,
Oh, he did.
through he goes.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to what is race 2 of AOR's GT3 Tier 1. We're around Watkins Glen this evening. Unfortunately, as you can probably all tell, I have AIDS of the nose region at the moment. Savagery has built up in the esophagus. My epiglottis is full of fungus. I do feel like I've been ravaged by many bears. I've heard, however, though, in the autumn, a very beautiful little Jamie, when he frolics out there in the fields, he does actually shed one of his skins and makes way for a beautiful plumage. Is that correct, Jamie?
He's getting strangely more erotic each week. It's really weird.
Jamie, yes, everybody.
And what Raid was trying to say there is he's got a cold, but that's, of course, what all men say.
Yeah.
Blow it completely out of proportion. He's just got a little cold.
You have to. You've got to make way.
You don't.
Oh yeah.
You don't.
Oh, yeah.
But you do. How are you? Apart from that.
Apart from the many problems I'm having in the upper nose region, fine actually. As we're just about to watch some of these guys come into qualifying. But no, I'm okay, to be fair. I'll soldier on, as we all have to for league racing, so I will rely a little bit more on you, and I'll just moan a bit more. I think, is what we'll do today.
Good, right.
Yeah.
You were going back to the man flu side, not the other topic. the intro sounded like.
Oh,
Good.
the intro, wasn't it?
We're around Watkins Glen, aren't we?
Yeah, it's the first time we've been around Watkins Glen. I must say, I almost got it. Watkins Glen. It's the first time we've been around Watkins Glen, so this is all going to be brand spanking new. I don't even know what the corners are called, Jay.
It's all right. Not many people do.
No, I have got a map.
They're not the most memorable names. Americans not great at. We've got the inner loop, the outer loop, the back straight, the chute, the toe, the boot, the heel,
Okay.
the 90, and the S's.
The 90 and the S's. Okay.
Can you guess what kind of corner the 90 is?
I'm gonna guess a 90-degree corner.
Correct.
Is that the last one or the first one?
That is the first one.
Okay. So the 90.
They're not known for their subtlety of track naming.
I mean, this is all brand new for me at least. I think I've driven around here once, many moons ago. But yeah, we should have a good, fun race around here. I was going to go through what's happened if you were living under a bridge with many trolls, and I thought let's go through what happened last time out. We had a new winner in AOR. we had Mikhail Statsenko coming across the line in Spa, pretty much unheated, wasn't he? Tinker van der Velde, not normally right up there, but he also came across the line in second place. And George Boothby managed to winkle out third place there. It looks like, was it Jack Alexander we saw going over the final corner, managed to hold on to fourth place. Amir Hassini in fifth, BMW Niels in sixth, Hugo Merlin seventh, Rantis Caracas, Black Gold Tour and Samir Foch finalise that top 10. So yeah, we have a new championship leader at the moment. Long shall he reign. However, he is being chased by previous champion who we're watching right now, the number of the devil, Mr. George Boothby. He's currently lapping around quite quickly, but Statsenko, he's currently leading this practice session, Jen.
Yeah, I've been watching for a little bit. I think your volume's a bit off, or mine is louder. I don't know.
Oh,
I could turn mine down, or Rage could turn up, whichever way. How is Rage in comparison to the car audio? And then we can go from there.
I'll flip it round slightly. There you go.
But yeah, it's. I've been watching the practice session. It looks fairly early on, like we were going to see a bit of a Ferrari resurgence, but the Hondas have found some pace towards the end, especially the race winner of Statsenko a bit later on in the session. But it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping it's a bit closer because, you know, that's the joy of GT racing, is that we have a bit of variability track to track from the different manufacturers, and if it's going to be Honda domination all the way through, that's not much fun for anyone unless you're in a Honda, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's a track that I'm sure they all know well, but it's maybe not as raced at as some of the stalwarts of ACC, as it was obviously released within the last pack. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting.
The last time I've raced around here was Watkins Glen, sorry, it was Grid Autosport back in the day. I think that was the last time I've ever raced around this circuit. So yeah, we'll see how they go. Let us know how the sound's turning out, because I am slowly changing the levels slightly, popping Jay down and me up slightly as well. So yeah, let us know if we need to improve that, and I'll make the arrangements. But yes. Oh yeah, Tim says Rage is too quiet. Jamie, you're fine. I'm sorry, I have to be somewhat quiet anyway. Who wants to hear all of this nasal, ness? I'll try.
Oh, what are you on about, mate? I can hear it in its full glory, and it sounds fantastic.
Sounds fantastic. Like I was saying,
you should make this your normal voice.
To
be fair, you're ill so often, I feel like I've heard you much with this voice as I have with your normal one over the last 15 years.
I am normally a walking sinus, so I can completely get with that. We are on board at the moment with Candy Moonen in the Princess Robot Bubblegum car, the one that had the sneaky on the back of it. So we'll quickly move away from Moonen. And Leon Byrne, there we go, another Honda. Didn't go too well last time out, but it was okay. It was all right. Yeah,
talking of last time out, there was something in those standings that obviously someone that was missing from that top 10 that wasn't at the flag. That was Luke Whitehead, who was hit with a post-race penalty, dropping him down to P15. We kind of suspected that was going to, goodness me, the rush of people trying to get out. I never understand this personally, but then I'm not very good at the game. But whenever I go in a qualifying session, I want to go out in some free air. But it seems the pros aren't really bothered about that, because we've got an absolute stampede onto the track at the moment as qualifying gets underway.
Yep. We're on board with Mikhail Statsenko as he leaves the pits. He's following, it looks like, McLaren. Ferrari ahead. Don't know who that actually is ahead of him. But yes, it's a fun old track this, by the looks of things. I can't say that I know it too well. Like I said, I think the last time I played it was like on a very old grid game. Maybe iRacing. Those boys probably maybe a little bit more used to it on iRacing, so I think it's quite a staple on there. I remember this little section being quite, when you go over the bridge-ish area where the catch fencing is. So yeah, a bit of a strange game for us European racers, but never mind. It's good to be across the pond now again.
Yeah, well, I think I've done 2 endurance races here in the last, 3 months, so fairly well. One of our drivers putting it backwards into a barrier 5 hours into a 6-hour race. Very, very well as well. But that wasn't his fault. I said I wouldn't bring it up again. And I just had in front of 50 people. But there you go. And his name was... But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we've all fallen foul of that, so we don't play the blame game at TVB. Yeah, it's a really full-on track. There's a lot of... you've got to get in the flow round here, especially through the middle and the final sector, and there's lots of spaces to outbrake yourself or find an exit curb, but you do take a lot of curb around here. Be pretty aggressive with them to the point that it's almost a different racetrack when you watch it. But yeah, I'm just hoping we're going to see a bit of a close competition up the top. I want to see the Ferraris and maybe some other couple of cars getting involved at the top of the table.
I was going to say, do you mean as in the multi-manufacturer fight?
Yes, sorry.
That is what we're kind of seeing at the moment. To answer your questions, chat, looks like they are breaking into that bus stop section. At least a little bit. Don't know how much. Looks like Stansenko actually downshifted through there. I don't know if that was he meant to do that. He is still going around reasonably fast. I don't think he's given up just yet. So we'll have to find out.
It's tricky, those corners. You do have to brake, yeah, 100%. You want to get all the speed off because you're pretty much back on the throttle as soon as you've got through that first corner, and then you're flat out through the next two. Just trying to hold it enough for a little lift through the final right-hander, the long sweeping right-hander. Yeah, there's definitely a little break in there.
I like the banner over the start-finish straight where it prompts you to go bowling. I think that's a nice addition that they decided to bring into the game. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you if you need a slightly lower octane sport after racing your GT3 cars about,
why not?
Why not go bowling?
Anyone bowling? And
then not particularly anywhere specific. Just go bowling in general. It's a PSA for general the bowling federation at large.
Bowling is well represented around this track, it seems. As Statsenko actually does go first. As I say that, he's displaced by Dara McCormack, or Dave, as we've now called him. Grantis Caracas in third place. Jura Petrochenko doing very well this season so far. Managed to keep himself inside the top 5. As I say, we are getting some other people come in here. Tinker van der Velde, third place. Boothby puts it on 4th. Aidan Walshingen in 5th place. Pushes Grantis Caracas out of the top 5. Where are some of the other names that we need to mention in this situation? Luke Whitehead. He is across the line. Maybe it wasn't a good time. I can't see he's actually got a time in yet, actually. Maybe let's see what the Ripper can do as he's coming through the final section. Again, you have to bear with us around this track. It's new for everyone, really, I guess, so we're not too sure where everyone is. Okay, so let's see what Luke Whitehead can do across the line. He was in lots of traffic. 7th place is all he'll be able to muster round the Glen today. Who else have we got here? Because I don't think... Black Gold Saw currently out of the session, so don't know what that's about. Maybe we'll catch up with him towards the end to see what happened. We don't have Malinowski by the looks of things. No Malinowski this session at all. Strange.
We were hoping, weren't we, that he'd be here for the second race, but no show unless he's going to turn up for the final 5 minutes and bang in a quality lap, but doesn't look like, unfortunately, he is.
No.
Wasn't well for the first race, not sure for this one. But
goes up. Sorry to interrupt you, Jay. This is going to be a top 5 at least. As he comes through 4th place. There we go. 2 tenths and a bit away from Dave McCormack, who's currently leading with a 142.8. Is that fast or not? I've got no idea, but it looks fast enough. So we do have a bit of a multi-manufacturer race, Jay. We've got a Porsche, Honda, Mercedes back there in 5th, and a McLaren, and then the Ferraris of George Boothby. And Jardier's up there, 7th place as well. And also an Audi of Mayer up there in 8th place. So yeah, I think you're well on the money saying multi-manufacturer this afternoon is definitely going to be one to look at. Marit Schintz is in that AMG Mercedes, about to cross over the line. He's 2 tenths up. He's going to displace, I think. Might even go for a really high up position. 4th place, that's as high as it goes. Okay, did he displace? I think he did, yeah.
Yep, he went up 2, so he went ahead of Petrochenko and Boothby.
And very well done.
Exactly, yeah, he's definitely got the pace to challenge for that pole position. Yeah, Shins, I was really impressed with him in practice. Sort of came from nowhere. What I've seen this season last. Was he in last season?
Marek Shins, yes, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. There you go, that's just my lack of knowledge of the AOR grid. But yeah, I was really impressed with him in qualifying. That's carried over. But there is that normal Honda domination. It's the Ferraris I'm a bit surprised about. Hardier definitely looking a bit more on the pace, considering he's 5 thousandths away from George Boothby as the lead Ferrari at the moment, but I feel there's going to be more time for both of them.
That's a nice distance to be away from Boothby though, isn't it? The only distance I'd like to be away from George Boothby is at least 5 thousandths in any given situation.
Yeah.
Is that what the restraining order says?
That's the one I served you with, yeah.
Good, yeah, fair enough.
Always remain 5,000 second.
Was that the first time I was found in your garden, or the third?
That was after the Rome incident.
Oh, we don't talk about the Rome incident.
No, we don't.
Okay, moving swiftly on. Anyway, I don't think we got many changes at the top.
We've never been to Rome together. Just making it up. Just making it up for jokes.
McCormack is still leading. Statsenko has to settle for second best. Luke Whitehead managed actually to get himself to third. Missed that completely. Tinker van der Velde in fourth place. Marek Schintz, the man who we're talking about, and following in fifth place. Angel.
Aria P7.
Yes. Is he?
It's P8 now.
Oh, I was going to say, because Angel was P7 when I last looked, but there you go. Maybe he got pushed
down.
That's
Boothby going
Boothby.
up to P2.
Oof, look at that gap as well. 7,000.
Just within restraining order territory.
That is just about. Illustrosa starting. No, he actually finished the lap and goes top. So those times are tumbling, Jay. Those absolute tumbling of times up there in the top end. Go bowling, apparently. Is doing it for the big boys. Dave McCormack coming across the line. He will retake pole position, I think, if he gets across the line now. And he does. There you go. Lovely little gap there. The Porsche's doing well around here. Price in that BMW. I'm not too sure. Let's see where he is on track. He is P10, the highest BMW we've got this afternoon. Who else? Where's BMW Nils? Is he not taking part this afternoon? Oh, he's down in 39th. Not having a good afternoon in the M6, it seems.
The M6,
Oh.
not really. There we go. I think I got away with it, but I decided to go back on it anyway, just in case. No, I shouldn't. The M6 probably not liking this track as much. It was really enjoying the straight lines of Spa. Not so many of them around here, so yeah, maybe an ill-advised choice for this one. But you know, he put in such a great performance last time. Don't count him out of making his way through the field with the racecraft. I was going to point out before Dara put that time in, there was just under 5 tenths per second between first and 23rd. I mean, that now covers still the top 13, and it's 6 tenths back to 23rd. It's remarkable, really. A lot of people comment on how competitive this league and it's the most competitive. It's just showing it, really.
Yeah,
over a 1 minute 42 lap.
It's obviously working. How many tiers have we got? Is it up to 8 or 9 tiers? Maybe even 10. I can't remember how many we're offering at the moment. At least, obviously, the top 2 shown on a Monday and a Tuesday afternoon. This man, though, Tinker van der Velde, is up, and he's 2 tenths up. This could be a threat for pole position, as he does indeed go bowling and hits the barrier on the outside. Has not lost him any time. Let's see. Second place, not quite enough to take away the top step from Dave. We'll have to see how everyone else around him reacts with that time. Statsenko is a 10th up at the moment. Maybe we'll go on board with him. He's in the middle section at the moment. Whereabouts that is, but no idea, Jay. It's that much of a mystery at the moment. We're learning as much as you are.
As between the first and the third sector.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Here all week. Yeah, that's very close to Van der Velde, and he'll feel if he can go again, he can find that kind of time. But yeah, I mean, the pole position time could come from any of the top 15 or 20 at the moment. It really is that close that if they put the lap together, they could find themselves. It could be the difference between 5th and 25th at the moment. But the Honda's still up there. Those 4 again. Van der Velde, Illustrosa, Statsenko and Whitehead. Boothby and Dara, the only 2. I was really hoping you'd forget that, by the way. But you haven't.
Forgotten what?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Consider it forgotten. I was too busy clearing my nasal passages with the tissue. But yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead.
It's just as good. So yeah, I missed that little anecdote. Never mind. Statsenko comes across the line, 3rd place for him, as he does work his way back into that area of maximum performance that we've seen him achieve the last race, and looks like this race too. But yeah, any manufacturer available by the looks of things. We've got a Porsche, a Honda, and then a Ferrari, then another Honda, and then a Mercedes of Marek Schintz. I'm all about Team Marek Schintz this afternoon, as Jardier had a 10th on the board there, but unfortunately he has lost all of that as he goes sideways on the exit of the bus stop. He's going to come into the pit, I think, and grab one more lap, if he's quick at least. Mini Simeon says, wow, sorry, phew, I thought I missed the race. No, you didn't. You arrived just in the right time. We're still talking about absolute rubbish, and these boys are going as fast as ever. Shall we have a look down towards the back end? What have we going on? Vasily Anarev coming across the line with Sky Tempesta Racing. That's obviously a standard paint job, isn't it? It's a nice one, though.
I would presume so, yeah. It is a standard real-life livery, so I'm presuming they haven't gone into esports.
If they did.
I mean, it's all the rage at the moment, you feel.
Oh, yeah. Look at Harry Phillips' livery. Very nice on that Porsche, the number 79 Porsche. For the Wild Things Racing AOR. That's fantastic, actually. That's getting my vote for best livery of the race. Lovely blue and pink number. Looking very, very good. He's down in 15th place. Is he improving? He's 2/10 up on his time. And a time of 1:43.142. Harry Phillips did quite well actually last time out. Whereabouts did he finish? Let's have a little look. I can't remember if we touched base with Mr. Phillips towards the end. Whereabouts did he finish? In 36th behind Connor Wright.
He did a brilliant job. Yeah, you're right.
It's the first time he's been here. He was around good people. Connor Wright, Marco Yonkers, Inestrosa, all around that area. Hubert
I'm joking.
again, always around that area. You take that back, Jay. You take it back with a vengeance.
It's just the way you said it. That's all.
I've got to talk about all of them, Jay. That's the way it goes.
Well, another one, interestingly enough, with obviously the Aston Martin's looking a lot more competitive here than they did last time. Obviously, Barry inside the top 10, so that's going to be really interesting. But also, it's a chance for Trevor Wenham to maybe get a bit further up the field. Obviously, involves P22 at the moment. I think he was in the 30s odd for qualifying last race, and obviously challenging toe-to-toe Luke Whitehead for the title last year. So, yeah, hopefully, if that Aston's got a bit more pace, he can maybe find a bit more in qualifying and have a good race and feature a bit more. Because there was certainly some spicy racing with him involved last year, and we'd love to see it again.
Yes, definitely. He's taken a slight step back with that Aston Martin this season. Probably not the best choice, but hey-ho, maybe he just wants to play around towards the back end of the grid instead of right up at the spiky end. Could have chosen a Honda, didn't, and I applaud him for that. So, yeah, good to see him back and fighting fit. Currently 22nd place. He's not making many moves right now by the looks of things there. And neither is anyone actually inside the top 10. We've only got a minute left on the board, so these guys have got to make up some time very quickly, but I think we might have hit that barrier as Darren McCormack will probably start his last lap now. It hasn't improved him, at least as much as I could see. So we'll keep our eyes glued onto this timing screen to see what happens towards the top end. Luke Whitehead then, someone looking to improve, hasn't managed to find much time. He is on the bubble at the moment. I don't think he'll get around in enough time to set another one, so this is it for him. Statsenko's a 10th up in 3rd place, and he is going through the middle sector too. So Statsenko is on for pole position here, if he can hold on to it, Jay. It's a long old way round though. Let's go on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Final throws coming in now from everybody then. And I'm just going to watch the time screen because, as you know, I find it very difficult to find people in qualifying with ACC system. So I'm just going to watch that. You can watch the actual quality. See the time as it comes in. So we've got Inestrosa, Phillips and Moonen in the pits. I think Moonen's improved 8th and Phillips to 6th. Actually, no, Phillips 3/10 slower on his last lap round. But yeah, going to be the fight for pole from the top 4, and Luke Whitehead are probably the 5 we're going to be looking at it.
Statsenko is off, unfortunately. No further action from him, I don't think so. George Boothby's going through the bus stop, but absolutely ringing the back end of that Ferrari and managing to make it work for him. Not too sure what happened to Statsenko. We're on board with him. Oh, blimey, okay. George Boothby is in the barrier. Again, not too sure what happened to him. That looks like a hardware issue for him. And that is it. Coming across the line now and stealing the limelight, Tinker van der Velde. Getting pole position, stealing it away from Dave. I didn't think that would happen. We've got a Honda on the top spot, Jay. And I think we're all done. Is Valentin Barrier still going around? I think he is. The highest.
It's Barrier and Schintz potentially. Can still get a time, but yeah, that's a great time for Van der Velde. By the narrowest of margins, 5,000ths of a second. Looks to have put himself on pole for the Watkins Glen race here, unless Schintz or Barrier could potentially do anything about it.
Fantastic last lap.
Schintz goes 7th, improves, jumps a few positions.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Mercedes.
Oh, Barrier absolutely clatters the exit curve barrier. funnily enough. He doesn't improve. I think that is it. All she wrote for this session. Well, whilst we wait to go into the next session, I think we might as well have a little bit of a word from one of our sponsors. Jay, do you like socks?
I love them.
I also.
I love them so much. I
Like
normally
socks.
wear 2 of them.
Really? At the same time on one foot, or do you like to spread them over each digit?
I alternate them between foots.
So
I'm a maverick. I sometimes put left-hand socks on my right foot.
do you sometimes get halfway down the road and realise that you haven't got any socks on at all?
I do.
Do you
And I'm slipping all over the place. Is
Oh.
there something that could give me more grip when I'm
There is.
running around in my socks?
Particularly when you're actually sim racing, right? So there's these particular type of socks called SIMSOK.
This isn't planned, by the way, guys.
No, it's
Just if you
Don't
hadn't
ruin it,
noticed.
Jay. It's fine. Don't ruin it. It's fine. So you know there are these socks out there called SIMSOKs, right? They've got lovely cushioned heels. They've got grips on the tips of your toes, so you can get right on that heel-toe action when you're either racing, drifting, or rallying, whatever the kind of racing you like to do. And yeah, they cost about 20 quid. Get from simsok.com, and they are our kind sponsor. What happens, however, though, if you've got your socks on and you're just not that very good at driving? What would you do at that point?
Put on more socks. I'd
No.
get 2 pairs.
No,
Oh, okay,
you could do
sorry.
if you wanted to.
Oh, the other sponsor. Sorry.
Yeah, well done. There we go. So Driver 61 can also provide you with lots of information on their website, YouTube channel, and via driver coaching. So do check them out as well. Back to the normal scheduling, though, Jay. That was very
I
quick.
could do a bit with that.
I think so too. Yeah, I do agree. More of that, please, Jay.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to buy Rage 10 lessons,
please do. I am very bad. Anyway, right.
oh
Let's-
God,
Let's.
why do they give anybody money after that?
I know. I would say we've earned it this time. That was fantastic. I liked the little foray about how many socks you like to wear at one time. I, for one, only wear one.
Do you know what? That was straight off the top of my head.
Was it?
You wouldn't have believed it, would you?
No, I wouldn't have guessed that at all. Well, let's go through the grid, and I'll do it somewhat quickly and as little nasal action as I can, but I do have many B's living up there right now. So Tinke van der Velde on the front row, with Dara or Dave McCormack, whatever you want to call him. Second row is going to be George Boothby and Statsenko back again to fight. That's going to be fun. Champion and champion contender on the second row of the grid. Third row of the grid is going to be Instroza and Harry Phillips. You getting that, Jay? Harry Phillips in 6th place. He was way down on it. You wrote him off completely. Where is he now? Humble Pie. He's in 6th place. Third row of the grid. No,
You're saying that's really good, and then you said 36.
No. We'll leave him there, and don't say any more. Marek
You got
Schintz.
1 minute 40. So
It's fine.
Shut
We'll
up. I'll
get
leave
through.
it for the race.
Marek Schintz and Luke Whitehead will be on the 4th row of the grid. Whitehead with work to do. Moonen and Valentin Barrier. Let's go in helicam, actually, so you can see what's going on. Moonen and Barrier will be on the 5th row of the grid. Jardier and Samir Foch, I think they're teammates. So the Yas Heat battle goes on again, and more Yas Heat conundrums behind. Is that Yas Heat? I think it is. It's Marco Yonkers. It's not. They've got a similar thingy. He's not Yas Heat. I take it back. He's in row 7 with Hugo Merlers. We've got Isaac Price, Vasily Anarev in row 8, I think. Then we got Walsingham and Jura Petrochenko fallen down a little bit in row 9. Black Goldsaw getting used to the Ferrari. He was always my favourite. He's down, unfortunately, in row 10 with Hubert Simonensky. We've got Felix Hacker and Jesse Kalpanen in row 11. Then we got Manuel Maya, Leon Byrne in 12, Hettich and Wenham in 13, Gert Fischer and Tom Gorka in 14, Grantus Caracas, you have to say that with a space. He'll be joined by Felix Arndt in row 15 or wherever. Cody Sherratt, I'm going to get rid of the rows now, I've got confused, and Lucas Markvart will be behind them. Lois Regina and Boris Gaffron. Oh my goodness, Boris is just Boris now. Arthur Patton and the Apple Man behind them. We got Max and Connor Wright, Vanko Wunko Dimitrov. The Russians will like that. Kieran Prendergast, BMW Niels, followed by Gaspar Marek and Angus Fender at the back in P44. We got there in the end. Someone really confused me though. What was his name? Boris in P35. Say his surname, I dare you.
What row was that?
That one. Yeah. I don't know, row 16, 17 or 18.
Garafulin.
Yeah, well, Gareth. Boris. Is just
Not
gonna-
Ronnie
gonna go for
Barker.
it. Yes.
Oh God, nobody's going to get that reference. Oh, we're old now.
We are getting there.
To be fair, that was like 20, 30 years before I was born. So
yeah, well, someone's saying, "Where's my favourite Audi driver?" You're going to have to speak up, Kylo. I don't know exactly who your favourite Audi driver is. I'm not savvy to these memes. My favourite Audi driver at the moment, though, Candy Moonen, currently running around in the 101 car with a fantastic livery. Jump on board with them if you want to. Let's have a look. Princess Robot Bubblegum. I'm going to assume this is a female driver. I don't know. I've not got the statistics, but we're going to go with they just to be sure. That then incorporates all different specific bits and pieces, and we don't, insult anyone. Jay, I'm going on the air of caution here. I'm not insulting people. This is a new leaf.
I mean, I think you got more than a cold, mate, to be honest. I didn't realise it's also Williams eSport front row, despite them being in two completely different cars.
Is it?
So, wonder if there'll be
Williams eSports. He's got in the world.
Apparently so. That Williams money.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see, whether they look to work together.
David Tinker. Very nice.
An added dynamic. Look out for those Yas Heat boys as well at the back end of the top 10.
Definitely looking forward to a Yas Heat battle. That's going to be fantastic, especially.
Actually, Samir knows what's just happened to Samir. Samir's in the pit lane.
Oh, he obviously didn't get to the car in time. We didn't get something sorted out.
I'll look out for one of the Yas Heat boys at the back end.
Oh dear,
well
that little battle's now gone to the flipping, whatchamacallit it. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to see what happens with the Yas Heat boys this time around. We do have Marco Yonkers in the mix, because I'm pretty sure they were battling quite close last time around anyway. So that
sounds like goes in Yas Heat as well. So
what's that, sorry?
Oh, and George Booth is in Yas Heat as well, apparently.
Oh, yeah, definitely, but he's further
they're
up.
everywhere.
We might have another Yas Heat somewhere.
There's about 10 of them. They're taking over. It's a monopoly.
It's a monopoly of heat.
It is. Millions of Scovilles of heat.
Mini Semyon saying Samir in the pits. I think we're just getting into the thingies. Yes, he is, unfortunately. Not too sure why he went to the pits, but he is the only person in the pit. Unfortunately, Samir.
He forgot, apparently.
Did he forget? Oh dear. Oh yeah, he did forget. Thank you.
I do it all the time. You know, I'm in a car and then I just forget that I'm in a race.
Where am I? It happens every time. Going to the supermarket. I should have gone bowling. I'm throwing things down aisles that shouldn't be thrown at. It's very confusing sometimes.
They're two things you do not want to mix up.
I think sometimes I should be going rowing.
Lobbing melons at small children in trolleys.
Don't want to be doing that, mate.
No.
Definitely not. I don't know where the start is here, so you're going to really have to guide me through here.
On the straight.
Okay. All right. Lovely bit of information there, Jay.
We've got we got this corner and then the right hand, and then they're onto the start finish straight. Did you mean you don't know where the start line is?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Nor do I. It's normally painted on, so that should help us out. But we'll see. Do you want me to jump to the back and?
Of course.
Jump to the front, and we'll see. I think this is going to be a great race. There's a lot more competition up the top there. There's some really good drivers in the top 10 that didn't have a great race to begin with, and well, we just saw the chaos that Isaac Price is off. He's gone over a barrier somehow.
Not too sure.
Not sure how that's happened.
Oh dear. It's bad to worse for Price already. Green light, Jay. We've already gone green as the two Williams boys battle. Do they battle hard, though, into turn one? I'm not too sure. And we've got Boothby and Statsenko behind. Statsenko holding onto the outside line. The Williams boys do go hard, and it's pushed out there. But Tinker van der Velde looks like he holds on to it. Boothby up one position, I think. The outside line didn't work for Statsenko. How are we going on towards the back, Jay? Are they all through okay? Gives me NASCAR vibes going through that first sector.
They're all okay at the moment. Off Passett ran a little wide in turn one, lost the rear end a little bit, but he's back onto the track now. Found his way on. We've got BMW Niels using the immense M6 power to try and make his way through the field, but at the moment they're all clean.
Okay, that's what I like to see.
We have got a McLaren off. So say that, and it's Aidan Wilson.
He was quite high up.
Oh, and then there's a Aston Martin off of Connor Wright as well that's made contact. Looks to have got going, but that's definitely going to be a pit stop.
Oh, no. Well, let's see if we can catch up, see what happened with Mr. Wright. We'll go back a few seconds. We'll go on board with Connor Wright. There's lots going on ahead of him. He's got plenty of room to get the brakes done. Does he lock it up into the bus stop? No, he doesn't. We're all good. Coming through the second sector.
One of the Aston Martins. Don't know who that was.
It's okay. Tagged from behind by the looks of things for Connor Wright. Not too sure if that was his fault. He's just being a little bit careful with what was going on around him, but I think he's paid, unfortunately, the ultimate price. It's going to take him a long time for him to get back into this race. As we go back to the live action then, we're on board with Mr. George Boothby trying to chase down Dara McCormack. Dara's doing a fantastic job. Anything going on around the back? I think Harry Phillips is coming into some contact and some battling action with Marek Schintz. Are they in the same team? They both got pink cars. I don't think they are, though.
Yeah, I think it was Trevor Wenham that got turned around at the back. You think he just about saved it, but he's dropped 4 or 5 positions, unfortunately. But looks like he's got his car going again. Oh, and there's contact between Lucas Markovic and that's Lois Regnier into turn 1. They're still going wheel to wheel. Boris has made contact now. He's round. He's taken out a Ferrari.
That was a big crash there.
Oh, and McLaren's collected him.
Big crash.
Jasper Marak with nowhere to go. And that McLaren's going to need a trip to the pit stop. Angus Fender's been caught up as well.
We'll go back for that one, I think. We're on board with Gasper Marek, I think. We're going to see what happens again with these guys. I saw a Porsche almost like backwards in that section. I think we should actually go on board. He collected the Aston Martin and nowhere to go for him, and that's definitely all she wrote. Unfortunately. Oh, the Aston Martin. Who's the Aston Martin? Is that Foch? I don't think it is. It can't be Foch.
No, Foch is in a Ferrari.
Oh, is it Boris? It is Boris.
It was Boris that got caught up in that, unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, Boris. When will he learn? Unfortunately, not today. Harry Phillips getting very close to the back of Marek Schintz in that Mercedes. I'm very surprised at the pace of the Mercedes today. It's doing the business.
In his hands, it certainly is. I was going to say in his hands. I don't think there is another. Oh, there is one more. Gert Fischer is down in 36th in the other Mercedes. Is Felix is normally in a Mercedes? Isn't
Felix
he?
Hack
Not
is
this
normally.
year.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he's in this year. I might have to have a look. He's towards the back end at the moment.
I don't think he is.
So I don't know what he's in. I'm going to say a Ferrari. Oh, Phillips goes wide through turn 1 on the exit. Managed to hold on, though. We're all good. To come through many corners.
Luke Whitehead looking to make a move on Harry Phillips at the back of this pack. Moving to the outside, can use the straight line speed of that Honda now. He should get this move comfortably done. It's not much of a braking zone, so he needed to get it done, and he does do. Porsche was looking good, but that is its one weakness, especially against the Honda. Luke Whitehead on the move then.
Yeah, on the charge, definitely going up. Ripper, he is. Felix is in the Aston Martin this year, by the way.
There you go. Yes, he's P18 as well. He's made up a few positions early on.
ACC manager coming in with the absolute facts. In moments of those kind of crashes, you don't want to own a direct drive wheel. 100%. We're seeing some moves going on up ahead, though. Is that Marek Schintz and Angel going toe-to-toe in 5th and 6th as Luke Whitehead literally licks his lips. We'll go on board, I think, with Luke Whitehead, because I think he's going to be quickly past Marek Schintz. I can feel it. Feel it in the air, Jay.
Well, yeah, we'll see what his race pace is like. Gonna see more importantly what the straight line speed's like against that Honda. See where he's potentially stronger. Getting pretty car sliding a little bit through the penultimate corner. Moving across the road. Count the power as early as you dare with that barrier looming on the outside. I don't think it's going to be enough on this chance. But if he can keep it neat and tidy through the next series of corners, he might have a chance down the straight. But he's really good on the brakes into turn 1 there, Marek Schintz. Closes up a little bit, compromises him a little on exit. He's going to have to look over his shoulders as well, though, because he's got a ramp up recovering Luke Whitehead. And that Honda, I think, might be past it.
It's definitely
moves out
in video shadow play. Sorry, Jay.
Sorry.
Don't you worry. Luke Whitehead, same
shadow
position.
play for years.
I know, same position as last time. Is he going to get the job done, though? Marek Schintz looking rather scary through the bus stop and doesn't get the move done, but that's compromised both of them. Might see Phillips come back a little bit here, but they're both pretty damn fast. But yeah, wasn't Marek Schind's mighty good through that first sector on the brakes. Didn't give Luke Whitehead much of a look in. But here comes Phillips again. He has made up some ground on him. Sorry, Jay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Someone asked in the chat what software is used for instant replays. We're actually using the broadcasting client that you get with ACC, so it's built in. So there you go. It's definitely not Shadowplay.
We do not have the mental dexterity at this time on a Monday night to be loading up clips on Shadowplay, or Rage doesn't anyway.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, he was really good into turn 1 on the brakes, Marek Schind, but that kind of compromised him on the exit. He went in a bit too deep, and that's allowed Luke Whitehead to come back at him. As you say, Harry Phillips is on the back of this pack now as well, along with Hardier, Barrier, Moonen, and then there's a little gap to Hugo Merles. So, I mean, it's basically, apart from Tinko van der Velde that's broken away at the front by 1.4 seconds now from his teammate Dara, they're pretty much nose to tail all the way back to P11 then.
They are. Just turning outside of that top 10 then. I don't want to move too fast because I don't want to miss some fantastic driving. So it looks like Harry Phillips is going to come back at Luke Whitehead. Not too sure if he's going to get it now, because as we go into that first sector, we've got a few straights, particularly the back straight into the bus stop. So might not get it done, but we do have a very good battle as Hettich goes very wide out of turn 1. We got Meyer in the Audi in the Prime E-Racing AOR. Good to see him smashing it together with Hettich back there. Simonensky looming behind, but not managing to find any spaces to get past. And there is Hacker, the man we were talking about earlier. He is in P16. I'd love to see him in a Honda. That would be, I think, a sight to behold. But he was fantastic in a Mercedes last season, wasn't he? We sung his praises.
He did. He was really good at coming back through the field, and I've got a feeling he's made up a good 8 or 10 positions. We just saw Hardier, well, we didn't see, but Hardier, I did. Hardier just got past Harry Phillips. We saw Harry Phillips going incredibly wide into turn 1, and that did compromise him all the way down the main straight, and Hardier now up into P8 then. And definitely having a better race of it than he did last time out, finding his feet in that Ferrari now.
Phillips doesn't want to give it up though, by the looks of things. Which is good.
No, he's definitely better through the middle sector. That Porsche is really struggling in the straight line. The Ferrari breezed past it like he wasn't there last time round. So he needs to gobble up that lovely slipstream as much as possible, I think, to keep himself in this. But yeah, he's really good through the middle sector, but they're really weird, not weird, they're tricky braking zones through the middle sector. They're heavy, but they're cambered long corners, so it's difficult to really throw it down the inside anywhere, which is where he's got the pace over him. And coming under pressure from Barrier now.
Yes, I think it's going to be a matter of time before the highest up Aston Martin has a little nibble at the rear end of that Porsche, unfortunately, whereas, like you say, gobbles him up. I think that's probably going to be the next move on the cards. Oh, we got the suicidal bang of death, but we are still alive, don't worry. Have you ever had that before? As we do go for a move down the back straight, and Moonen is almost bump drafting him through. Are we going to get a little tussle? Oh, Phillips thinks better of it and actually opens up the steering to let Moonen come through. It's a double overtake for these guys, or at least a double loss for Phillips. I thought we had a car round there, but it wasn't. It was just the angle that we saw. But Kieran Prendergast, by the way, yeah, not having the best of races. I thought I'd let you know. He's in P30 at the moment. Last time I looked, though, he was a little bit further down, so he's slowly clawing his way up, but not quite there at the moment. Someone else we probably should have a little shout about. Not too sure whereabouts he is this afternoon. Mr. BGS, whereabouts is he today? He's in P15, I think. Not quite doing the business just yet. Is he actually racing? I can't quite click on him. Have you seen him? I can't.
I have seen him, but he's not here now. So obviously something's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was around 20th place, or just a little bit further back.
It might have happened.
Yeah, he's disappeared from the tracker. So
it might have happened when we got sniped, as Nicor says. Have you ever had the ACC sniper, where you just randomly get a cannon go off in your ear?
I've heard it on a stream. I've never had it happen to me myself, thankfully.
We had the sniper just then. It wasn't very loud, so I didn't die inside. But that might have been the cause of people going. He had a drive-through. Okay, says Tim. Got a drive-through at the start. Okay, he's obviously thrown in the towel by the looks of things then. You can tell that we're paying attention to it, absolutely. Unfortunately, then BGS not continuing any further this afternoon. Let's just have another look at the top 5. Tinker van der Velde streaming ahead in that Honda. Dara McCormack in second place. George Boothby in third. And then Statsenko and Inestrosa battling very, very close behind, trying to make their way up. Marek Schintz, Luke Whitehead behind them. And then obviously you can see Jardier, Barrier, Moon and the guys we were watching just a second before. Hugo Merlers, though, getting very close a little bit further back. Maybe we should jump back with Hugo. He was getting very close to Anafrev. I think he's actually got past Anafrev at this stage. No, he hasn't. He's still behind. Anafrev is in the Sky car just ahead.
Yeah, there's a little train of 4 of them starting to form behind Anafrev at the moment then. Got Petroshenko and Yonkers onto the back of this as well, and there's that quite a considerable gap developing between Anafrev and Phillips, so 3 behind him. If they want to trouble the top 10 today, we'll be looking to find a way past if they can. But the Ferraris we've seen have been very good in a straight line, so they're going to have to find somewhere to do it. Although Merlin's obviously Ferrari versus Ferrari. I always find that even tougher, to be honest, when you're in the same car.
I think so. It makes it even harder. It really does. Even if it's not overly harder, I think it makes it harder in your head, right? I, for one, at least, I hate it when I overtake it or have to overtake a same car as myself in ACC. It just seems like a huge mountain to overcome. Christian, one of our AOR commentators for the endurance series we had on Saturday, he said he got the ACC sniper midway through.
Oh, Merlins has lost it. Sorry to interrupt
dear.
you.
No,
Going out turn 1, he was trying to get on the power super early, I think, to try and find his way past Anafrev. Car goes round. I think he...
Bad miss.
Nope, he didn't. He did make contact with the barrier.
Pretty hard as well.
The front end of that Ferrari is not good, and that's going to make his race very tough from now on in.
Yeah, 100%.
And yes, that's not what Christian will want. that is going to definitely.
I think the longer you've been playing, or the longer the session's been on, the louder the sniper is. And sometimes when it goes off, it scares your soul. It's that bad. Carlo's saying that is some damage. Definitely. That's a lot of damage. We're watching Moonen, Barrier, Jardier all getting very close to each other in this middle section. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Boothby and Dara McCormack, though. That's going to be a very spicy battle just up ahead. I feel that Phillips has been fighting a losing battle, though, this afternoon, hasn't he? He's been going backwards, unfortunately, after a fantastic qualifying.
Yeah, it's just that straight line speed he's struggled with. You can see he's got pace compared to those ahead in some of the corners in the middle of the track. But, yeah, maybe he can just about hold on now. He's got a fairly big gap back to Anafrev, and he's not going to be under pressure from anybody else down the straight. So hopefully he can try to hold on and maybe do something on the tyre or the strategy game. As he's better through the corners, he might look after the tyres slightly better, and it might start coming back to him later in the stint.
True. And just for those who don't necessarily know the situation here at AOR, it is one mandatory pit stop wherever you want to take it, really. And then secondly, you have to change tyres. No refuelling. It is, I think, preset rain, or weather, I should say. So it's organised, I think, in advance.
Where are you on board with?
I'm on board with Harry Phillips. Do say.
So Luke Whitehead has just got himself past Marek Schintz after a few laps of trying. It's done now, though, so you can probably stay where you are.
No, we'll go back. We'll go back and watch it. We've got a replay.
Oh, of course you can.
We'll use it. So where was this? Turns 3, 4? No, it's towards the back end of the track, isn't it?
No, it was, yeah.
No, it was 3, 4. Okay, yeah, he did it into the bus stop. There seems to be a spot this afternoon, doesn't it? On the inside, lovely. Nicely done. Gets the brakes sorted out and, yeah, munches him. Nicely done. Good stuff. Next up, then. I think it's Angel, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a little gap to close now to try and get up to those, well, it's second through to fifth. Van der Velde continuing to check out up front. But yeah, we'll see if he's got the pace to move away now. That now puts Schintz under pressure from Hardy and Barrier, who have, after getting through, will be looking to shuffle themselves towards the front of this group as Schintz gets all out of shape into the penultimate corner there. Just about holds on to it, but that's going to put him under a lot of pressure. He got very close to that wall on exit as well. He would have been holding his breath there. don't think Hardale will try to do anything into turn 1.
Statsenko in the pit, Jay. Sorry to interrupt, but one of the top 3 in the pit. Statsenko, early pit, actually. It's a strange strategy. Let's see if it works out for him.
Yeah, he was running in that 2nd to 4th battle, wasn't he?
Yep.
So maybe just wanting to, see if he can. He obviously felt like he had a bit more pace in there. As Boothby hasn't managed to find a way past Dara at the moment. So yeah, might work out for him. Boothby did that very well last week. He made the early stop, made the fresh air count, and jumped 4 or 5 positions. But he did suffer later on with the tyre wear, so it's still fairly early. But he'll want to get out into clean air to really make that early stop work for him.
What's going on a little bit further ahead then? Dave and Boothby incredibly close. It's as close as I think we've actually seen them. 2 tenths now opened up to 3 because we've gone on board. Unfortunately, it's the way. Marek Schintz also getting quite close to the back of Luke Whitehead again. I don't think we'll see another move. Harry Phillips getting close to Mooden, but I think he's just managing that gap. It's still then 1, 2, 3. Tinker, Dara, and Boothby. Obviously, you've got Statsenko, who's come in, I think, from about 3rd place, maybe even a little bit further back, maybe 4th. Can't quite remember. So he, I think, is the one to watch. He's the threat at this stage, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So he was running just behind Boothby, I think. And Instroza's dropped off that battle. I don't know if he's made a mistake somewhere. He's been off that battle for a couple of laps, but he was in a row with those 4. So yeah, he's trying something different. He obviously feels he's got some pace. He definitely had some pace last time out. So see if he can use it now. He has come back out in clean air. Got about 15 seconds ahead of him to drive into. So yeah, see if he can make it work.
Interestingly enough, considering making stuff work, Phillips was getting absolutely eaten alive down the back straight. However, Darren McCormack's managed to keep that Porsche there as he does go almost sideways through the inner and outer loop. Manages to hold on to the car though. He must be running a very slippery car. I think you can tell from when he went sideways through the inner and outer loop that he probably is running quite a slippery car. Is Darren McCormack losing the rear end, having to recorrect there through the chute. Nicely done though. Come down towards turn 7. Tinker van der Velde though, what a return to form this season. Really, really impressed with how he's been driving. No wonder he's been picked up by the Williams boys. George Boothby though, 666. He's come in for 2nd place. I think he'll be fighting technically for 3rd. I think Statsenko is going to claim this spot, so it will go down towards what happens at the end. Will that early pit though, Jay, force someone's hand towards the top end to cover? Or do you think they'll just run their own race?
We'll see. It will depend whether George Boothby feels he's being held up here as well, whether he's got much more pace. Obviously, that's what he did so well around Spa in round 1, but he did suffer later on with tyre wear, so it is fairly early. I feel they'll be fairly happy
Whitehead
where
in.
they are at the moment.
Whitehead in, also followed by Hardier, and I think that was, who else came in? Moonen also came in. So yeah, the typical American pit stop, this one. Quick in
Hardier
and out,
and Whitehead are on top of each other in the pit lane. This is going to be all about who can stop right on their marks, get that engine stopped and started as quick as possible.
Oh, they are.
I guarantee.
They inside each other then. Can't quite see.
They were, yeah. So someone did a better job on the pit entry than the other, because you can't do that on the track.
Yeah,
we'll see who exits first here.
Whitehead was ahead, wasn't he? So it looks like Johnny's got a good entry, hasn't he? So maybe we'll stay with them. 30 seconds is the stopover. Be good to see actually what happens to Statsenko. Whereabouts is he? Oh, he's going to absolutely eat them alive. What a stop!
Well, he was quite a way ahead of him anyway.
Well, it wasn't that much, man. It was maybe about 3-4 seconds.
About 4 seconds. Yeah.
Here you go. Both Whitehead and Jardier out of the pit. We're going the. So
that's Hardier jumping Whitehead.
Did he get him?
Yeah, he's comfortably ahead.
He
so
is.
All that pit stop practice, practice makes perfect with that, lads.
Yeah.
He can make that much of a difference in this game. And that's got himself some free air now, and see what he can do.
I think Luke Whitehead will be cursing inside that little car. But Moonen's still right close behind. We lost himself a little, I think it's a her. Lost, I'll just say them, it's safer, isn't it? Lost themselves some time. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Stratsenko, last time round 43.6.
Wow.
Boothby last time round 44.6.
Okay,
so
motoring.
You'd have to say a couple more laps at that pace, and even Van der Velde is going to be under threat here. Because these second and third have started coming back at Van der Velde then, Dara and Boothby. That gapped back down to 1.6 seconds. It was over 2 seconds at one point. So I wonder if Van der Velde's even made a mistake or is just starting to struggle a little bit on his tyres. But this, yeah, it really could put Stratsenko in contention to win this race. Second on a bounce here, potentially.
Yeah.
I would pick, if I were these boys, you can have the tyre advantage, but you don't want to give away too much free time.
It's an early pit though, 44 minutes in, he decided to come in for the pit. And even the guys that have pitted already, it was 38 minutes in. That's reasonably early. That's like someone who wants to get a jump on would do, you know. 30 to 35, I would say, would be normal. So even the guys that came in earlier would have come in 40 minutes to go. So I would say that's still an early pit. So these guys have still got a couple of laps in them if they want to, and they won't give away too much time. They should make it back in the second stint. But yeah, interesting strategy. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens indeed. We've got more people in, by the way. Gorka, Marquardt and BMW Niels all in the pit.
Yep, so this is starting to get more into normal range, isn't it? I mean, yes, 5, 6, 7 minutes does make a difference on tyres, but they are endurance tyres, don't forget. They only really start going off sort of 55 to 60 minutes. You are definitely have a pace advantage, but generally only at the beginning of the stint when they're nice and fresh. Once they get 3 or 4 laps in, they're going to start equalising that difference between tyres. So yeah, they're going to be behind almost certainly, as Dara's now closed another 3 tenths of a second on that lap to Van der Velde. I'm pretty sure Stratsenko is going to be in the lead here.
Yeah, I think so.
2 more in the pits then. We've got Anna Friv and Hetich and Schur coming in this time round. Anna Friv was running, just outside the top 10, wasn't he? So I don't know who they were in a group of about 4 of them, weren't they? I think that was maybe just behind Moonen, so we'll see where he comes out. Hugo Merles has got a 15-second penalty. Not sure where that's come from. I saw him spin, but
he might have had something to do with what happened with Conor Wright at the beginning. So he was touched from the rear. I know he does like that kind of thing, but anyway, he might have, got penalised for that. I certainly am on a regular occasion. Let's just double check what's going on. Many jokes happening, completely going over your head. Let's have a look. Tier 1.
I had a chuckle. I mean, it wasn't a laugh out loud joke. Probably because I'm kind of impervious to your jokes at this point. But
it's fine. It's fine. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Hugo Merles. He's towards the back there, isn't he, because of his incident. He is car number 13, so let's see what happened. Car 13 and 70 on lap 1. 10-second time penalty for car 13. 2 licence points. Wow. So who's car number 70? It's Walshingham, who's unfortunately out of the session. There was another.
Yeah, we saw him caught up with that big crash, didn't we? Laps in. So obviously maybe he was at fault for that one. Boothby's in, by the way.
Oh,
so
dear.
This is going to be our marker for Stratsenko. I'm pretty sure he's going to cruise past him. But it'll also be interesting, Hardier and Whitehead, who have been lapping in the 43s as well, to see how much closer they get to Boothby here. Because they were running about 4 seconds behind.
P19, that's why I can't find him. I was scrolling frantically to try and find where he was, but yeah, interesting. This is exactly what we want to see. I think he'll get him, but it's whether he can hold on to it, isn't it? That's the main question. It's
by how much, yeah, exactly.
He gets, how long can you reign? But yeah, looking at Chardier, the gap back to him, 5 seconds. That's kind of where he was before he came in. So maybe
yeah,
it's
but
not worth
remember
as much as we thought.
Stratsenko's had 2 laps more than Hardier.
Okay.
At a second a lap, so well, we'll see.
He's got
Boothby's moving.
He's got him. Already got him, unfortunately.
Hardier's coming into turn 1 then. And he might challenge his Yassite teammate here, depending on the warm-up. It looks like he's clear, actually. That's a good couple of seconds.
left on him. But the warm-up is a thing.
It is, it's definitely a thing. Yeah.
It is a thing.
It is a thing of many things that could happen.
We have had some changes though. A little bit further back, you can see the battle actually heating up behind Noonan and Barrier getting a little bit spicy there. We'll watch them as they come through inner and outer. Managing to hold.
He thought about holding that out.
Who, Noonan?
Yeah, Barrier definitely saying, don't try that, sir. It's a stop-go penalty. Dimitrov down in P25. I presume that's from his pit stop, unfortunately.
How is this gap coming down then between, it's not really, is it, to be fair?
Boopy's fired them up by now and he's starting to move away. Van der Velde is in. This is the one I want to see, because I think we could have a new leader of this race. I think we're almost certainly going to. In Angel in as well. Stratsenko's coming over the start-finish line now. He's comfortably ahead. Yeah, that's going to be a good 4 or 5 seconds. Boofy's jumped in second. Oh, they're going to be side by side, aren't they? Through this flat-out right-hander. Just about holds on, but look out for that Honda because he's got hotter tyres and he's going to have the straight line speed. Coming down to 3 and 4. Will he go inside or out? Boofy looked like he's going to hug the inside. He's going to have to squeeze him a bit more outside because he's going to want the space to swing it round. Takes a lot of curb. You've got to be careful on those curbs. The car skips across. That was super brave from Boofy, but 100% necessary. Do you want another car in to go nicely into that gap? I think Dara's going to slot in between Hardier and Van der Velde on this lap, and might all get in slipstream each other. We might have a 4-way battle for P2 here, and we'll just look at the lap times from Boofy and Stratsenko, I guess, and see if we start eating back into that gap. Yep, so they both passed Dara. Dara's coming out pit lane. He's going to go right into that gap. Look at that. Fortune teller right there. I don't believe in those charlatans. Look ahead. He's going to force the inside, but you'd be almost certain that Hardier will try it. No, just has no reply. I mean, the Hondas are quick in a straight line, but I feel like Luke Whitehead has got some extra horses from somewhere because he's been breezing past people down that straight today. Okay. We've got a big race going on, so I'm not going to argue. So 44.0 from Boofy last time around, 44.2 for Stratsenko, so he's dropped out of the 43s. I would imagine Boofy can probably dip into the 43s on this lap. Now he's got his tyres up to temperature, so he is quicker, and the gap is coming down, but not a huge rate of knots. Yeah, and he was just kicking up some dirt for those following there, wasn't he? Try and see what's going on a bit further down the pit now. Go on. Yes. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I feel like they're going to concertina a bit. Obviously, Stratsenko, he's dipped back into the 43s that lap, but he's still 4 tenths deficit to Boopy and Van der Velde behind. And then Dara was still waiting for a first full lap. And we'll see if Whitehead and Hardier and Angel, and now Barry's on the back of that, and Moon. So we'll see if they can all go with them. But as soon as... You've got to presume Boopy and Van der Velde are going to catch Stratsenko, and then it's dependent on how much he backs them up, right? Yeah, it's the kind of the trains where they're those real pressure situations, because when you're fighting maybe in a 2 or 3 car train, you make a slight mistake, then you're maybe only losing 2 positions at best, but in the kind of proximity that top 10 are at the moment, you could end up outside the top 10. The back end of it with one small mistake. I think you're muted.
I am, yeah, I didn't realise. I'm back though, I'm here. As I was talking about what's going on with Hettage and Hacker as they go toe to toe. Thank you. I am periodically muting to blow my nose because I've got massive AIDS of the nostril at the moment, as you can probably tell. So yeah, I'm muting so you don't hear tissue blasts coming from the hills, unfortunately. So thank you for letting me know. I didn't realise. Couldn't see. Soz.
It's all good. Just wanted to make me look like a loony, right? Just having conversations with myself, which I do often anyway. Yeah, they're starting to close up. I mean, Luke Whitehead is not exactly disappearing at the front of that group as I thought he would. Hardier and Angel. Hardier going with him, and Angel, Barry and Moonen have now caught them. So this is the group. The gap at the front then.
Tinket's getting it down. Definitely to Boothby. It's 4 tenths now. That gap wasn't as... I don't think it was as big as it was. But yeah,
he's a tenth quicker that time round. Both of them 2 and 3 tenths respectively quicker than Stratsenko.
This is what I was going to say. It's how long Stratsenko can keep on the pace. When he starts dipping back, you know, a couple of tenths here, a couple of tenths there, that's when they really start to reel him in. And like you say, it's going to cause that backing of the pack. But how much is he going to back them up? Because there's a big old gap back to Luke Whitehead now. It's at least...
Well, that's because he's looking over his shoulder from Hardier.
He is.
He's looking to come back to the straight line speed of that Honda. As soon as Hardier gets out of that slipstream, he's got no chance. He's going to have to do it somewhere unconventional on the brakes if he can stay with him.
He's going defensive.
Much better exit from Luke Whitehead.
Inside that inner and outer loop, mate, he was going defensive. He didn't want anyone to even attempt to move through there, not that they would. Mega defensive down the back straight though as well. I don't think there's anywhere else to overtake. I think that's the place, isn't it, this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, you have a chance into turn 1 if someone mucks out the final corner, maybe. Oh, I thought Angel was going to collect Hardier there, very late on the brakes. But yeah, as we said, otherwise it's going to have to be unconventional because of the nature of the corners through the middle of the track. They're sort of medium braking points and sort of only one line round it, even though they're really long corners. So you're right, it's going to have to be that straight. And if Luke Whitehead's got that straight line speed that you've been making great use of all day long, it's going to have to be a bit unconventional or a mistake for Hardier. Gap at the front under a second then. See as the times come over the board, but I think that was a very bad lap from Stratsenko. say 44.3 then. 43.5 from Boothby. 0.8 of a second on that lap. Van der Velde's coming with him. We now have a three-way fight once again for the lead. How much tyre have you got left, Stratsenko? You're going to need every bit of it, I feel.
Well, he's got at least a 10-minute deficit, hasn't he? Because that's pretty much how much earlier he came in. At least 10 minutes. It might even be more. Especially to Tinker Van der Velde and Dara McCormack.
Maybe pop back on board with Angel in P7. They're almost going to go three wide here.
Goodness.
So, Luke Whitehead moving all over the road. Getting uncomfortable on those curbs. Holds on to the car though. Angel just sitting and watching. Luke Whitehead again moving all over the track down that main straight. You're right, he's moving at shadows a bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just to try and throw people off.
Maybe stick with him so we can everyone can get a good view of what's going on. We're on board with Jardier, but he does exactly the same though. Feints, maybe. It looks like he almost lost it under braking. We were in the fail cam view from the rear view mirror, and it looked like Jardier just wiggled a little bit there in the braking zone to put off his competitor of Angel in P7. I don't know. He might have gone to avoid Luke Whitehead. Not too sure what's going on with these guys, but they are going toe to toe. Jay, we're on board then with this little pack. What's it for? 5th place, isn't it? But there's so many following. And then it's little old Marek Schintz holding up the rear then in that Mercedes. Not gone well today. Where's Phillips? He's dropped down to 12th place after the pit stops, but I think he's settled there. He's got Dura for company and Hettich. And that little battle with Hacker, I think, is just slowed down a little bit. But this is the one we're shouting about. As Jardier just scrapes the barrier there. He's pushing so hard today.
Yeah, he needs the points, doesn't he? After not the best race at Spa, had no pace, although he came through the chaos to still get a decent top 20 position. But he knows the pace of that Honda. So he knows he's going to just have to be all over his rear wing and commit more than he maybe normally would through the corners.
Move for the lead,
to try and get himself anywhere near. Yeah, you go up there.
It's all good. I did. Little look there from Dara McCormack. Sorry, George Boothby. Tinker Van der Velde just behind, but hunting. We'll jump back to what's going on with Whitehead and Co. He's got a bit of space. He's managed to pull a little bit of a
Angel
gap.
tried to make a move down the outside of Hardier. And Hardier much better on the brakes, holds on to it. But that's created that little bit of breathing room for Luke Whitehead.
Managed to hold on.
Status quo somehow. That battle for the lead has now been joined by Dara. Then he is holding them up, Stratsenko. And we got a 4-way battle for the lead and a 4-way battle for 5th through 8th.
We do also
5-way battle from 5th through 9th. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say we've got a little bit of traffic coming up. I'm not too sure who that is. It's definitely not Phillips.
It's Lois.
Okay.
Lois Rignier.
Okay. Yeah. It was one of the back markers from the beginning anyway. But the race wouldn't be the race without them, so just as welcome. Managed to get himself in Tier 1 anyway. More the merrier. Stratsenko though, how long can he hold on? I'm going to say another couple of laps, because I think it is inevitable, Jay, that something's going to change here. Who's going to get the position? Look what's going on behind though. I just don't know which battle to watch. It could come from anywhere.
I was going to say I'd add another one. 14th through to 19th are all nose to tail as well. We've got 3 incredible packs, and we're going to have to miss some of it at some point.
Yeah, I think we'll have to
afraid.
Have to stay.
Yeah, I mean, crucially, Stratsenko's got the straight line speed from the back markers. That might help him out a little bit here, as though there's a triple slipstream from Dara, who right at the back is going to move to the outside of Van der Velde. Can he brave it round the outside? He's going to make contact across the grass. Still tries to hold on to it.
Lucky
Van der
boy.
Velde just about keeps ahead. Little bit of contact. Robbins racing though, I would say, in that
teammates though, that was almost disastrous. I can't believe Dara McCormack managed to hold on after going onto grass, rejoining and not hitting his teammate. There was literally a gnat's anus between those two cars. It was such a small gap. He managed to get away with it. Can't believe I said anus. Anyway, moving quickly on. I can, yeah. Stats
doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
He's leading. He's managed to get himself a little bit of a gap because of the jousting that's going on between the two teammates. But Boothby's gone with him. what's happening a little bit further behind. Whitehead, Zardier and Angel
Oddie is
all very close.
I was on board with him the last few corners. He's wringing the neck of the thing to try and stay close enough to give himself a chance, because this is the pressure cooker we were talking about. He's got Angel, Barrier, who he knows incredibly well, obviously, mooning all over the back of him. And he just wants some fresh air and be in control of his destiny, right? He doesn't want the opportunity of, or the misfortune of potentially losing 4 positions here, going for a move. But it's just that straight line speed of the Honda he can just do nothing about. Round 2, where we look
to turn 1, Jay.
On the inside into turn 1.
That
was brave. I said maybe that's a secondary overtaking position, but you've got to be brave. You've got to have a willing partner, and he did in that sense. But will the Honda come back at him, Rage?
He might do. I think, you know, the top speed of that Honda is definitely spicy. He's already making a move through it coming out of turn 4. He's only actually entered turn 4. It's coming out of 3. This is getting pretty spicy with these drivers. We're going 2 by 2. And he has actually managed to hold on. It looks like, though, that Tinker van der Velde was going to try and make a move. Dave Dara McCormack has actually caught back up, so this is now a 4-way battle again, Jay. But Statsenko is the stopgap in this little interesting battle. Moonen, though, is incredibly close on the back, I think, as well. Valentin Barrier. They're all so close, Jay. It's so hard to call. I've got no idea where these guys are going to finish, just put it that way.
No, absolutely. And this is where the 2 Williams boys need to start working together, because this is Boothby's opportunity to win this race here and now. A couple of laps in free air and it'll be over. So they're going to have to get aggressive here. They're going to have to try and find a way past Statsenko if they want any chance of the win. Because I feel like these 2 boys have got as much pace as Boothby.
Oh, yeah.
But they need to find a way past.
Well, Boothby was struggling behind, I think it was Dara McCormack, and I can't remember who was behind, or was it Tinker? He was faster. I thought he could have got past before the pit.
It was Dara that was at the front, that was closing in on Van der Velde, and then, Boothby just behind. I think Statsenko that came out of nowhere, obviously, from the back of that battle.
I think Boothby's good. As soon as this is going to be very tough, I think, for Boothby to hold on. Statsenko going defensive into turn 1. This very, very tough defence is obviously going to lead right into Boothby's clutches. But yeah, I mean, how can you work together here? I guess all you can say is that Dara will get a chance to battle it out together. I just need to get past Statsenko as he makes the move on the outside. It's not the fastest way. It's not the easiest way either, Jay.
Wide here. Dara's got an overspeed in that Porsche. Oh, thought about it. Statsenko so good on the brakes, and Van der Velde just didn't want to give it a chance as he maybe opened up the corner too much there. Statsenko, no, Van der Velde can't find a way through. And where's Statsenko from? Because I think they need a new Minister of Defence after that one.
We won't talk about that. Anyway, moving on.
We got
in P6.
Okay.
Let's not talk about politics.
Yeah,
Jardier is very close.
Got that one in one.
Yeah. Luke Whitehead is still struggling. Don't, Jay. He is being chased quite a lot by these boys. Whether he's starting to suffer here, I'm not too sure, because he's been defending for so long. But to these guys, he could have been really overheating those tyres. The gap was 2 tenths, but it has actually opened up a little bit into the latter end of this lap. But yeah, I think that Jardier is very, very quick on that straight, even more so at this stage of the race, quicker than that Honda. So we might see a change around for P5. But yeah, how long is it going to take Tinker van der Velde and Dara McCormack to get past Statsenko? That's the main thing.
Well, I feel the chance has come and gone, to be honest.
They needed to make it happen soon, didn't they? 2 seconds is the gap now ahead.
Yeah, I mean, unless Boothby makes a mistake, and he doesn't do that very often, that move won in that race, I think. But we've got 15 minutes, you never know. They can get through in the next couple of laps. I'm just going to keep an eye on that gap between Luke Whitehead and those front second, third and fourth as well, to see if he maybe closes back up, as Hardy is still swarming all over the back of him. But just cannot find a way past the Honda power. Right, we're still on board with Van der Velde. Yep.
We're going with it again, as I think he might actually have him this time. On the outside, is he going to get... No. Look, Tinker, you've tried now. Good 3-4 times. The outside is not the one. Let's see what you can do, maybe in a different position.
I can see... Statsenko keeps... He's been better on the brakes the last 3 laps into that corner, and Van der Velde's just not managed to do it. But it's the way Statsenko opens up 5 that Van der Velde thinks, I'm just going to try and chuck it. Problem is, there's a fat old curb there. that unsettles the car a lot. He's weaving all over the place, trying to put him off. That might have opened the door for Dara. Can't quite jump in. We're presuming, by the way, that they're talking.
Oh, 100%.
They may well not be.
I know, I reckon they definitely will be. Oh, there's Marek Schentz and Moonen going toe-to-toe as well in the background there. I think Moonen just getting the better of that. Princess Robot Bubblegum, thank you very much. Up into... oh no, he's actually defending. I don't know at this stage,
Defending, yeah, Schentz was already 9th, yeah. He'd fallen a bit off this group as he makes a move.
Might have got it there.
The door was well open, yeah. And that was... good tennis from Moonen to see him coming.
Good tennis,
give him the space.
Fantastic
why not?
bowls.
You know I always say tennis instead of cricket.
Yeah, it's all good tennis.
Don't know, I'm still reading a little bit after my misdemeanor about 5 minutes ago, which
It's
had
fine,
my
don't
head
worry.
in my hands for about 30 seconds.
Don't worry, it's absolutely fine. No one heard.
I mean, it wasn't an incorrect statement. Oh, there's nearly contact between the two Williams Esports cars into turn 1. That is going to be the opportunity for Dara to find his way through then. It was Van der Velde getting all out of shape that opened that door.
Well, can the alternate car make the move where it hasn't been made? That's the big question. Now they've got past each other and they're, not falling over at each other. There might be opportunity here for the Porsche to make things happen.
Yeah, well, see, I would kind of feel like unless he's got a very different setup on this car, I feel he'd struggle against the straight line speed of the Honda even more than his teammate.
Yeah.
He's definitely looked the quicker of the two Williams Esports cars the last few laps. And, sometimes when you get past someone like that and you come on to the next car that's been defending and you've suddenly got someone else over your shoulder, you can very quickly get past just because you haven't had that frustration and you sort of feel each other out, right? The first few laps when you're nose to tail and you work out where you're stronger and where you're not. Dara's best chance is to go for it as early as possible before Statsenko's had a chance to work that out.
I'm just going to put it out there, Jay. If this continues, this pace deficit, we are going to have Luke Whitehead on the back of Dara McCormack pretty soon. The gap has come down to 1.7. It was over 2 seconds earlier on. So all of this battling and all of this jousting is definitely bringing this second pack here into the pack that we're watching just behind. And
as Chap just pointed out, it is a pack without Valentin Barrier, who is, I don't think he's found the barrier. Well, he might have done, but he's no longer in the server, as far as I can see. So he's dropped out of that train, unfortunately.
He's barriered himself.
But you're right, they are closing back up. And the longer Stratsenko defends as well as he has done, a better chance. But now we'll see if Dara's got the pace to find his way past then. Stay in that slipstream for as long as you can, because as soon as you pull out of it, it's all going to disappear against that Honda. He kind of wants to force the inside. Statsenko's been so good onto the brakes into their moves across, and it's before the braking zone, I guess.
Just.
But to be fair, none of the Porsche of McCormack was alongside. And round 1, it's the same result as McCormack versus Stratsenko as it was Van der Velde versus Stratsenko.
Yeah. There is a pit wall live, actually. If you jump onto the pit wall website, and you'll find AOR Server 1. That is the pit wall live if you want to fancy having it a little bit late now, guys, I'm not going to lie. But if you did want to look at pit wall, you can do. I'll get you the URL. I'll post it in the right place if you like, because you're lazy. I know what you like, guys. Let's have a look, see if I can find it. Live timing. Let's see if we can get you bang on there now. Live servers. What have we got here? Jay, keep us in touch with what's going on.
Where are you?
We are...
McCormack still.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, as he makes a move to the inside, that was late. Statsenko has been opening the door a little bit into that corner. And McCormack just barges his way through. It's the smallest bit of contact, to be fair. I think that was fair enough. But that's where the Porsche is so strong, on those slow-speed corners. Was just able to get the car stopped. Saw his opportunity, opportunistic as ever from good old Dave. And now Van der Velde will look to follow him through. He's just seen his teammate do what he was unable to do as he moves down the inside into turn 1. Maybe those tyres starting to give up the ghost from Statsenko. And that is the Williams Esports boys through into second and third. Is it too little too late for them to do anything about George Boothby, though? We'll have to wait and see.
That's the big question, though, isn't it? 3.5 seconds is the gap. Luke Whitehead gap, though, back to Tinker Van der Velde. That's 1.8. I think Statsenko will be joining that pack.
Maybe go on board with Angel. He's going to look to the... Oh, no, don't worry. Back down a minute.
Oh no, very anticlimactic. Anyway. Luke...
Oh, Statsenko's car is moving all over the road. I think his tyres are starting to scream enough, to be honest. He tried to hold on to Van der Velde's pace. Van der Velde goes very wide, though.
They all are at the moment. Angel goes very wide too. He's actually a Yasseet driver too. He's just got a different Yasseet livery on today. I didn't
told you, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're literally just amassing all over the place.
One's in capitals, one not. Is that the A and B team?
I don't know. No clue. Couldn't tell you.
No, I don't mean this. I mean, nothing's happened in it yet, but the other train I was talking about that goes from Hettich all the way back to Marco Yonkers in 18th.
Just touch base
is
with that,
probably getting very spicy as well. In that battle, then we have Hettich from Mayer, from Korpinen, from Caracas, and then Yonkers chasing them down. A lot of different manufacturers in this group as well. 2 McLarens, an Audi, an Aston Martin, and a Honda. And close battle looks to be between Caracas and Kalpinen at the moment.
They're all pretty
Interesting to see. These are 3 cars we haven't watched much today, so
you haven't. You're right.
Let's see how they do down the main straight. Do of course keep an eye on the gaps at the front and jump back if you need to.
Well, we do have very close driving going on with Jardy and Luke Whitehead, and also Angel pulls to the outside going down the straight. Oh my goodness, manages to hold on to it. I think Luke Whitehead is going to come under attack again, but no, they all hold on to it. No mistakes there. We almost saw another change. That back straight is just a fraction too short, isn't it? It was so close to having an accident, but they managed to hold on to it. Statsenko is falling back at a rate of knots. It's now under a second, or just about a second, between him and Luke Whitehead. Luke's struggling here, which is surprising. It's not pulling away like Tinker van der Velde was earlier. So the second part of this race, these guys are able to follow so closely around here because it's so twist and turny, right?
Sorry, I was still on board with that battle from 13th to 14th.
It's fine.
Korpinen got all out of shape, dropped 2 places. Almost contact between all of them, but not quite, as Shintz now looks to make a move down the inside and gets past Angel. Angel will try it back down the inside though. Door was left open for him. Great battling between these two, and Angel will just about hold on to that. Coming through the penultimate turn then. Yeah, there's a lot of factors, isn't there? There's obviously the imbalance of people having stopped a fair bit earlier than some of the others. But it is a track that, yeah, you can... Braking points are so crucial through the middle sector that you can really use a faster car or use the packs to sort of gauge, and once you're in that pack mentality, you're all as quick as each other because you're essentially copying what each other are doing at that stage. Shintz is gonna... Okay, yep.
He's getting very close. He's going to go for an outside move.
Shintz and Angel are side by side behind as well. They want to stay on board.
Oh, I thought they were going to go side by side together then. They didn't, luckily. Shintz is doing so well in that AMG, isn't he?
He said he dropped off a few laps ago.
But he's come back with vigour.
He has. He's come back very nicely. Up in 7th place. Did eventually get that move done on Angel. And Hardy, he's... he might be very happy to see Statsenko getting closer and closer, just ahead of Luke Whitehead, because he's had no luck of trying to get past the Brit today. Both of them have had a very good race. It's a much-needed return to form from Hardy after Spa.
Well, it is.
But he'll want a couple more positions before the end, I'm sure.
I just can't believe that they've gone so close together and we haven't had more tappity-tappities than we've had. Do you know what I mean? You know, I'm just so surprised that we haven't had accidents all over the shop, but we haven't. We've had some staunch defending, we've had some, some rubbery, jiggery, pokery, but no real instance. Obviously, incident with Connor Wright, maybe one with Valentine Barrier that we didn't quite see. But yeah, it's all been pretty clean. Is this AOR? Are we in the right place?
Well, it's definitely been a cleaner race than Spa. To be fair, the top 10 were fairly good most of the time around Spa.
He snuck up like that, Jay. I didn't even see him, but he's on the back of this little
so
pack.
now we'll see how much grunt is in that Mercedes. Hardy is now going to have to defend after lap of trying to get past the Honda of Luke Whitehead. Shintz arrives on the scene immediately looking to pressure. He's going to move to the outside. There's a bit of contact. Hardy squeezes him all the way.
He's going to stay there, Jay.
That was a car width.
We spoke too soon.
Oh, you jinxed it there. Hardy just about holds on to the car, gets ahead. And Shintz is off. He's into the barrier.
Oh, let's
look. I was going to say, Petroshenko and Anafrev have been getting closer and closer to this battle. They're right on the back of it. Petroshenko has just passed Anafrev. But yeah, I mean, it's not a two-lane track. Because, as I said earlier, as soon as you're through the first of those 3 corners, you're back on the throttle immediately. And then you can make very little adjustment to the car once that power goes back on.
Oh,
you can see what Shintz was doing. He wanted to keep the space, but at the same time, Hardy had nowhere to go.
There was a secondary incident that we need to talk about, Jay. There's a secondary incident that happened. Obviously, Shintz rejoined, and he went toe-to-toe. I think it might have been... Let's have a look. It was the Sky car. I can't remember who's running that car today.
It's Anafrev.
Is it Anafrev? So he goes side by side with Anafrev, and that's actually what put him into the barrier. Otherwise, Shintz actually would have held on to that. Both cars, Shintz and Hardier, both held on through that little sector. Obviously, Hardier's dropped back now from Luke Whitehead, but technically, Shintz could have carried on from that incident. But the little tap with Anafrev, unfortunately, well, whether it was Anafrev's fault, it was his bit of track. It was a rejoin, and it was just a tap. So I think it was a racing incident, but still, Shintz unfortunately found the barrier afterwards.
Yeah, such a shame after we were giving him so much praise for for having the great qualifier and then coming back through from the back end of the top 10 after struggling a bit in the first stint. And he was looking like he was really going to come good. Unfortunate with that contact. Oh yeah, just did not want to give up that position. And there's contact between Angel and Hardier.
Hardier lost the rear end. Oh my God. Going into turn 5, held it, and there was a little boop, but no harm done. But now we've got Moonen right on the back of Angel. That was incredible car control from Jardier. That was really, really close.
He does know how to save a car, that lad.
He does. 2 minutes remaining, Jay. Where's it gone?
I don't know, as always. I'm kind of scrambling because I don't know what to watch for the first 10 minutes of these races. Then it calms down a bit, and then the last half an hour is just full-on action to the point that I'm now sweating. It is all over the place. As Hetzage gets out of place in 12th. Out of shape in 12th place. There we go, saying that 3 times in a row. But you're probably not watching that.
We can go down to Hetzage. It's absolutely fine. What's happening? Oh, yeah, we do have some side-by-side action with Maya and Grantis Caracas.
Yeah, Hetzage got a little out of shape there, was trying to find his way through, and he's actually just... I thought something flew off the back of the McLaren there. It's one of the marker boards. Someone's knocked out of shape. Caracas does make that move into the tight left-hander. Should be able to hold it through there. Oh, man, backs out of it as he probably should have done. And I think it's Hacker is on the back of... This train is now up to... many cars. It's like 8 cars in this train now.
There's 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 cars, all smashing round right next to each other. Let's have a look what's happening ahead. As Jardier is under attack again, a vicious attack.
We are also on the last lap, I would just remind you.
No, I heard the warning. We are on the last lap. Darren McCormack actually getting the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, which is fantastic. Right Whitehead, though, very close on the back of Statsenko. So we've got a couple of cars here that could threaten at the very end. And we might stick with Luke Whitehead because he's right close on the back of Statsenko, but Statsenko's held on to it. And Angel's even closer to the back of Hardier. We could see a crazy finish here. George Boothby, where is he? He's, I think he's coming through towards... I think it's turns 8 and 9, so we've got a little bit longer to go. It's jumped back to Whitehead, still trying to gain on Statsenko. Angel very close to Hardier too. We'll take this one to the end, I think, Jay. Whereabouts is George Boothby? He's a little bit further on, and then you can see the 2 Williams drivers up ahead behind him. But unfortunately for the Williams drivers, they've just been outclassed today, haven't they, unfortunately? haven't quite held on to it, but this man has. It's going to be another win in AOR, and the first of the season for George Boothby. And what a win as well. Managed to capitalise. Dara McCormack coming across the line in second place. Tinker van der Velde in third. Statsenko holds on for a mighty fourth place considering. And what a finish to the end here. Jardier gets it, then Angel, then Moonen. And then we've got, I think, Petrochenko, Vasily Anafrev, Harry Phillips there, and then the big battle here further behind.
Another cut out of the final corner. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I thought he was going to make that work. He didn't. But, scrubbed the car in. Underneath.
Very close at the end there, wasn't it? With Hetic, Caracas, Alpine. We still got some cars coming around. Let's see what's happening. Simonensky's finished there as well. Tobias Schur coming across the line. The Appleman, Mark Fart, Hugo Merlers after his incident at the beginning finishes. Kieran Prendergast is going to want this race to come to an end sooner rather than later. I think the barrier man today is Valentin Barrier. He's going to come across the line in 27th. Yeah, I mean, not a lot to shout about going back further. They're all quite gapped because of what's happened in their races has been a bit awful. Never mind, I'm sure they'll be back next time, but what race we were graced with from first all the way back down to about 13th, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. It was another cracker, and if we didn't think we could improve on the heights of Spa, I think we almost did, to be honest. It was nose-to-tail stuff. There were undercuts. There was contact drama. Back ends all over the place. Yeah, and not the Honda domination we were being led to believe by some of them in the podium room last time out. And it's actually Ferrari from a Porsche then, the front two. And
yes.
Yeah, I mean, the quality of these boys always amazes me, but no more so than today. There were a few little incidents here and there, but it was mostly just great, fair racing all the way through. And yeah, they'll need some cold refreshment after that race, I would have thought, as I do.
100%, I definitely do. I've only got a splatter of liquid left in my glass. Most of it came out of my nose. Anyway. So please show the quali times. I don't know what the quali times are. I can't show you those. It's information that I can't withdraw. I don't actually know. I'm sorry. I don't think we can show you the quali times now. What were they? 34, somewhere around there. 42. Sorry, I can't remember. Anyway, here's your winner, George Boothby. Fantastic job from the Yas Heat driver. We're going to get a conversation with Boothby. We haven't spoken to him, I don't think, for a little while. Jay, have you spoken to him at all? Because he didn't race.
I don't believe so. No, we didn't race last year.
No, he didn't race last season. So yeah, it'd be a good conversation to have with the Boothby. Who else have we got inside the top three? Dara McCormack. We can speak to Dave. He can finally know if he knows that we're calling him Dave. And Tinker van der Velde. Hopefully we can get a little chat with the top three. But there is your winner today. And
wasn't George on the podium last time?
No, it wasn't. Was it?
He was third. I think we did speak to anyway.
Did we?
Carry on. Our memories don't go past a week. He's showing his third on my.
Oh, then we definitely spoke to Boothby. Yeah, we spoke to him. Yes, of course. His name on his YouTube.
Oh no, I think Luke Whitehead might have been third.
No, Luke Whitehead definitely wasn't. He
was dropped 12 positions to 15th. Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing.
I shall get it up now, just for you. It was George Boothby. Oh, God. George Boothby in third place. Words. Statsenko won. Tinker van der Velde second. George Boothby in third. And yeah, like you say, Whitehead got dropped down to 15th place. Whitehead, I think, was fourth. I don't think. He dropped way down. We definitely spoke to Boothby because he managed to nick third. Do you not remember?
Oh, you don't, apparently.
No, I do remember because we said, was it strategy? And because he did the very early pit stop, remember? We're definitely not filling for time, guys, I promise. Do stay around. We're going to have a chat with these winners as everyone runs away with vigour. Let's have a look to see if anyone has joined us for a little chit.
George is there.
George is here. George, we definitely didn't forget that you came third last race, I promise.
That's a very royal we there.
He comes across the line and wins. Simonensky's strategy definitely wasn't the one today. We thought it was going to be a bit questionable when he came in with 44 minutes left on the clock. Did you ever think that you were going to come across the line in the top spot today?
Not really. I had the qualifying of my life, so Like that was the best lap like my PB. So
Oh wow.
I started quite far at the top, but the problem is the Ferrari has a really poor launch. So I was thinking like, even though I'm starting third, I'm probably going to come out of this in like fifth. But I was just able to defend quite well. I think Misha made a mistake. So then I spent the whole stint just stuck behind Dara with no straight line speed. So I was just no way I could overtake. So I did a little undercut on them, and I got ahead of Tinko and Dara. But Misha did a massive undercut. But this track, it's so hot and it destroys the tires. So we caught up to him, and then it was like a four-way battle for a few laps. And
we saw it.
I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I just turn one, I just sent it, and it worked. So after that, I just knew I just gotta get my head down and try and pull a gap, and that's what happened. So
it was a nice little gap that you made as well. I think it's 3 seconds by the time you came across the line. I know that the two Williams boys were squabbling over Statsenko at the back. Which was fantastic.
They were all over it.
It was really good. It was almost tears, but yeah. I mean, maximum points. I think you're actually new leading the championship. I'm just thinking maths-wise, you must be. Tinker, though, he was second now, fourth, right? Or third, sorry. I don't know. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. No, but you got first and a third. You must be winning. But Tinko's going to be very close behind. Statsenko's lost a little chunk, so he should be probably in third place or so. Hey, I mean, great start. You couldn't have asked for a better start to the season, man.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like I think third was the best I could have hoped for at Spa, and then a win here. I really didn't expect it. So I've got more points than I predicted. So yeah, hopefully, the next few rounds we can just try and build on it. Yeah, and
good stuff. I think you're benefiting as well from a couple of people who are not performing as they normally would. The likes of Luke Whitehead just not having the best starts to the season. I would expect him to be a little bit higher. He might be just getting used to the car. I know he loves to switch around, and this NSX is seeming to be the new norm. So maybe he's just struggling with that slightly. But man, it is a car, right? It is a very good car, it seems. But hey ho, brilliant start to the season, man. Where are we next? We're somewhere good. I seem to remember.
Paul Ricard.
Oh, we go to the Francais. So we go across the pond then for Paul Ricard. Looking forward to that. George, thanks for joining us. Best of luck in your practice for next week. And hopefully we'll speak to you again.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. Cheers.
No problem.
Great job, man.
Right. Let's have a little chat to the teammates. Jay, take it away.
Boys, that was a hell of a fight from you two. To get past that Senko. Let's start with you, Dara. Hopefully you haven't been listening to the streams too much the last few weeks, because I may have got your name wrong at some point.
That's fine.
have you listened?
So
back
for
to
the
anything,
remainder of this
Dara?
interview, I'm going to call you Dave.
Don't gloss over that. Don't gloss over that, Dara.
You were going to bring it. I just did. All right. How did that race go? Obviously, you guys were coming back through towards the latter stages of that race, with Statsenko obviously making that early stop. Boothby found his way past. They were squabbling between you and him. Dara, how did that go?
So, I mean, me and Tinker were working together. In the end, I said, "Look, if you can't get by him, if you can't go by, just let me have a shot at it." And I got by in lap and a half, and then Tinker followed through, so it worked out well in the end. Boothby, I kind of knew he would win. There was nothing I could really do. His tire wear would be way better on that car, so I needed to just try and focus to keep my tires alive and stay within the fight. So yeah, P2 was realistic for me today, and yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the result given Spa. So yeah, Spa was a bit of a mess.
I think you were the last to stop of the front guys. I'm interested to talk it through. I mean, when you see someone stop that early, do you just have to hold on to your guns and just think, you just concede that after a couple of laps they're probably going to get ahead of you with the undercut, and then just hope that your tyres, as they did this time, come back for you?
Well, I knew they would pass me for sure, and I knew pitting before, say, 35 or 36 was going to absolutely murder your tires given the temperatures. The temps were very hot for this race, so the likes of my car and the Honda would suffer a little bit more on the rears. Boothby's one, so he had a little bit more free rein with that. But yeah, that's nothing we could do about that. But yeah, what I did was I knew everybody was going to pass me, but I'd have the freshest tires, and fresh tires on the Porsche are beautiful. So when I came out behind them and I had the tow, I knew that I could just hang on to my tires and fuel save a little bit because I had to. So yeah, it worked out exactly how I wanted it to. So yeah, I mean, if I got P1, I got it, but I was content with P2.
Yeah, well, it's a great result. It was a great move. I think it was turn 9, wasn't it? He just slinks down the inside just about. A little bit of contact, but I think it was all fair enough, wasn't it? The door was open.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a hard move, but I think it was fair. I spotted the weakness on the previous lap that he was taking the wrong line through the turn, so I said, okay, well, I'm just going to send it down the inside. And yeah, it stuck. I hit the apex and it worked.
Something to make up for the tricky straight line speed in the Porsche, I guess, the performance in the low speed through there.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was running a little bit of a slippy setup here, so yeah, I needed to really capitalize in the corners, running a little bit lower downforce. So yeah, it was tricky on tires. Yeah, there was nothing I could do at Spa because 6-wing is like the only thing you can really use there. Either die if you go lower, or you just don't have top speed if you go higher. So Spa was always going to be a struggle, and in this race, it was just about trying to maximize the race pace.
Yeah, we noticed the car was slightly skittish through the outer and inner. So I said Dara's not struggling the way that I think Harry Phillips behind was really struggling with that top speed. So I was like, he must be running a slippery setup. But I mean, it was a fantastic battle, especially an inter-team battle. Was there conversation going on between you and Tinko van der Velde at the time?
Yeah, a little bit heated when I was like, let me go through and have a pop at him. But yeah, no, it was fine.
Tinko, do explain.
But yeah, it was. It was chill in the end. We were okay. Once we got by Misha, it worked out. So. Yeah.
I mean, he was always going to cause problems as soon as he got that early pit, and it obviously wasn't working for him.
Yeah.
You know, we said this actually in chat. We said that probably they're talking to each other, saying, "Look, if you can't do it, I'm going to give it a go." And obviously there was that little wiggle into coming out of turn 1, I think, towards the end, and then obviously you swapped places. So yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic race. Tinko, obviously you struggled a little bit at the end there. I think the car was just a little bit harder at the end of the race, or do you just think it was just a little accident that caused you guys to swap round?
No, I couldn't really pass Misha because our cars are identical. So through the mid sector, it's really hard to follow because you have the dirty air. You can't really get close enough, even though he was on all tires. And on the straights, you can't overtake because with the bus stop, if you defend, it's almost impossible to overtake around the outside.
Yeah.
But Dara's car, a little bit fresher tires. The Porsche is strongest in the mid sector, so he could be the only one to make a move, and I think it was really hard for me. So when I made that mistake, I was like, yeah, go, because it was hard for me to get Misha, and I think I lost the race just in the pit stops because George came out in front, and
it's a hell of a pit stop, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the Honda is really slow with the jacks when it drops down.
Well, George was saying that his getaway on the Ferrari was also quite slow, so it's funny you should say, but I mean, it could be. I don't know. It's strange that they differ between different cars.
But also the tire wear caught me out that his one lap gained like 1-2 seconds almost on me.
I mean, it was a fantastic inter-team battle going on the whole way. Sorry to interrupt you, Tinko. But hey, I've been mighty impressed with your performance this season. It's been very, very good. And to see you battling it out there because you were behind Statsenko, weren't you, in the first period, and then it was Dara behind you. Did I get that right? Before the pit.
Oh no, he's P1.
I was leading.
Van der Velde in the lead. Yeah.
Tinko was leading. Then it was Dara. Then it was Statsenko, and then he came in. And then
he came in 3 or 4 laps before everybody else.
Yeah.
Boothby was behind me. Boothby was behind me the entire time.
Okay, Statsenko was behind him. He tried
really early,
and then caused the situations.
When I saw him pitting, I thought, oh no, he's going to arrive. He's going to be in front. And yeah.
Oh dear. I mean, it made the
it was
race
going to
fun.
be a hard race.
It made it fun.
True.
It really did.
I'm a bit sad because I went from P1 to P3, obviously. But yeah, it was a good race. So in the end, I'm happy.
Don't feel too sad. Don't feel too sad. I think everyone was graced with a fantastic race. It was mighty clean between you two. Actually, I would like to say, Dara, what save through the bus stop, not to absolutely take out Tinko as well. Fantastic control.
It's a couple of situations like that. I mean, the rears would go after 6 laps. So hot temps and this track especially just completely destroyed the Porsche. I don't really have a chance. So I was just trying to conserve my tires and being in their tow, and then the fight was perfect for me.
Yeah.
So that allowed me to have some pace at the end of the stint. So yeah, like if I was leading both stints, I would have been in big trouble, I think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, arguably that Honda, I think, it's just the fastest car in a straight line. It seemed to be very quick, even when Statsenko and Tinko were fighting. I think you got incredibly lucky to get past. Obviously, there was incidents going on everywhere, but yeah, you made it work, both of you guys. But congratulations for not taking each other out. That's the main thing.
Cheers.
That could have been an awkward after race cool down, but never mind. Dara, by the way, Jay's calling you Dave by mistake. I just thought I'd not let him get away with that at all.
I did it once, and I'm not allowed to get away with it, so that's now a permanent fixture.
I've heard about the Dave incident. So yeah.
Oh, good.
It's all in love.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You did a great job today.
Cheers.
I hope you can make that portion as slippery as possible, Paul Ricard. You're going to need it, I feel.
Love.
Believe it or not, the Porsche actually has insane top speed there for no reason at all. Nobody knows why. But
good.
Yeah, if it's hot temps, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I got to hope for rain, I think.
Well, you never know. We haven't seen any yet. That would spice it up nicely, although I don't think I could keep up if there's rain as well as the crazy action we've been having.
I'm not too sure if the weather is preset in... No, it's not. I think when the practice server goes live, you get a slice of what the weather's going to be, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm sure that comes at some point. I've no idea when they release it. But hey-ho, thanks guys for providing us with a fantastic fight. And I hope we see more of the Williams boys going toe-to-toe. Unfortunately, it didn't end up 1-2. It was 2-3, and the other way around. But yeah, it was a fantastic race. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
No worries. We'll speak to you next week, hopefully.
Hopefully. Thank you.
You never know.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
There you go. 2 Williams boys. I think there was heated conversations going on in the cockpits between those two, wasn't there?
Well, I think that's the first thing they pointed out was they were they did. The Van der Velde did say, you know, when he made the mistake, right, you go and give it a go. Yeah, but I think before that, I think it was no holds barred, and I wouldn't be surprised there wasn't much conversation in the heat of that battle. But great job from both of them, and they got a really strong chance this season, I would imagine.
Oh, team chance is fantastic, isn't it? You know, they must be leading the team situation.
Well, they were after round 1, they were behind both Yassit teams. But after that, who knows? They might have pushed up towards the front. Yeah. Yeah.
The standings aren't out just yet for Watkins, so that will come in time. Hey ho.
Of course, Statsenko and Boothby are also in one of the Yassit teams, so. Yeah. That's going to be a pretty spicy championship battle for the constructors as well as the drivers, I think.
Right, before we lose too many peeps, because we dropped down from 80 to 40 when we were talking, because, you know, no action going on, we'll just let you guys know if you want to join us tomorrow. It's the Tier 2. Did fantastically well on the numbers, guys, last time. They actually beat the Tier 1, and that's all credit to John in the comms box, because he gives a fantastic representation of what's going on the track. Not so many innuendos, however, but it's much better. So do tune in, at the same time tomorrow for that, if you fancy. I'm not too sure what's going on with the standings, but I'm sure it's going to be just as epic as we watched today. And if you want to join us for Francais, then come back next week and we'll be there. It's in France. There's going to be so many memes. It's going to be fantastic. Join us at the same time at 17:30 on a Monday evening. Jay, anything to end on?
Nope, just same again, boys. Because first few races have been breathtaking. So, yeah, let's hope France delivers as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah. I'm sure it will. Hopefully I am AIDS-free by then. I'm praying to all of the gods of the nasal region that I do not have this affliction come next week. It's been fun. We'll see you next time.
In a bit.